I've never liked forests. There's something about them that always makes me feel exposed. Like I'm not really alone, even when I should be. But my dad sees things differently. He said we needed real family time. No phones, no noise, just us and nature. So we ended up driving down a narrow road, deep into a dense stretch of woods, heading toward a cabin he rented for the week. The moment we arrived, something felt off. It wasn't just quiet. It was too quiet. The kind of silence that feels intentional, heavy. The cabin looked older than I expected. The wood was worn, the windows dark, almost like they didn't reflect light properly. And while I was unloading the bags, I felt it. That feeling. Like someone was watching me. I looked up toward the trees. It was thick, tangled, barely letting any light through. But for a split second, I swear I saw something move. Not an animal, it was taller, still. Then it was gone. "You okay?"
Are you okay?
My mom asked. I nodded. Yeah, just tired. But the feeling didn't go away. Every time I looked at the forest, it felt like something was staring directly at me. Not my family, me. That night was worse. No insects, no wind, just, every now and then, a faint sound from the trees, like a step or something shifting on purpose. I sat near the window, staring outside. And then I saw it, the same shape, standing between two trees a short distance away. It looked human, but there were no clear features, and it wasn't moving, it was just standing there. I quickly got up and shut the curtain. My heart was pounding, but I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Shadows, my imagination. But just before I stepped away from the window, I heard it. A soft knock from outside the cabin. My dad said it was probably animals, told me to relax, and I tried to believe him. But before I went to sleep, I looked at the front door, and I had this strange feeling that if that door opened, it wouldn't be any of us. I woke up early, too early, around 5 a.m. when the light is barely there. I don't know what woke me, but the first thing I noticed was how quiet the cabin was, even quieter than the night. I stayed in bed for a moment. Then I heard it, a faint creak from the door. I slowly lifted my head. The front door was slightly open. It wasn't like that when I went to sleep. I froze. Then I saw it, a hand, long, pale, slowly reaching through the gap in the door, feeling along the floor like it was searching for something or someone. I wanted to scream, call my dad, anyone, but my voice just wouldn't come out. The hand stopped, like it knew I was awake. Then slowly, it started reaching further inside, and behind it, I saw a shadow. Someone standing outside, too tall, slightly bent, like it was trying to fit through the doorway without making a sound. That's when I moved. I jumped out of bed and screamed as loud as I could. The hand vanished instantly. The door flew open, then slammed shut. My parents woke up in a panic. We all ran to the door, opened it. No one was there. Just the forest, silent, still, like nothing had happened. My dad checked around the cabin. Nothing. No footprints, no signs of anyone. Nothing. We went back inside. I tried to calm down, until I looked at the floor near the door. There was one thing. Mud, a partial print, not a full footprint, but enough to see it. Long, stretched fingers, longer than they should be. And ever since that day, that feeling never really left me, because whatever was watching me from the trees wasn't waiting for a way in. It was waiting for me to be alone. Even now, When I wake up too early and hear something near the door, I remember. That thing still knows where I am.
I was living alone in a small cabin on the outskirts of a remote town in Oregon. My life was quiet, almost painfully so. No one ever visited, until the day two strange men knocked on my door. It was sunset, the sky painted in shades of red and orange when they appeared. The first man was tall, his face shadowed as if the night itself hid half of his features. His name in my mind was Dean. The second was thinner, with piercing, almost unnatural eyes, and I remembered him as Lyle. With a tense smile, they said, "Excuse us. Do you know Hollow Ridge Farm? We've been searching for it all day." I smiled nervously and replied, "Sorry, there's no farm by that name around here." They insisted they were just lost, wandering through the countryside, looking for the right way. After 10 minutes, they left, leaving behind a strange, creeping unease. Little did I know, that brief visit was only the beginning of a nightmare that would follow me. The following week, things started feeling wrong. Objects moved slightly out of place. I heard faint footsteps in the middle of the night. Strange messages appeared on my phone, short and cryptic. "We found it. Return to Hollow Ridge." I tried to convince myself it was all in my head, that I was imagining things, but my gut told me otherwise. In the dead of night, while trying to sleep, there was a violent pounding at the door. "Harper, open up! We're coming to finish what we started." I trembled in fear, and when I opened the door, Dean and Lyle were there. But something was off. Their faces seemed wrong, more shadow than flesh. They shoved the door open, their voices low and menacing. "The farm. It exists inside everyone who thinks they've gone too far. Come, we'll show you the way." They tried to grab me and pull me away from the cabin, but in the chaos, the two men began fighting each other, their struggle loud and chaotic, shaking the cabin with every movement. Amid the confusion, I managed to break free and run outside, gasping and screaming at the top of my lungs, "Help! Call the police!" A passerby stopped, called the authorities, and escorted me back to the cabin. What we found was shocking. The cabin was empty. The doors were wide open. There was no trace of Dean or Lyle, except for one thing: an old map lying on the floor, with a single small inscription: Hollow Ridge Farm. A line extended into the depths of the forest, leading to nowhere. Since that day, I've never known. Were those men real? Or were they shadows of some world we only see when we search for something that doesn't exist? Sometimes, when I wake in the middle of the night, I hear footsteps outside, and I wonder, have they returned? Or has the fear simply become a part of me?
I've always loved winter, the quiet that comes with falling snow, and the empty roads at night used to give me a strange sense of peace. I worked late-night food delivery across multiple apps, and from experience, the worse the weather, the better the money. Most drivers would stay home. Orders would pile up. In late January, a storm rolled in stronger than usual. Within an hour, I had already made a solid amount. Then I received one last order, a farmhouse on the edge of town. The payout was high, so I accepted it. The road leading there was narrow and covered in thick snow. Visibility was nearly gone. Then I saw headlights ahead. A vehicle was stopped right in the middle of the road. Something about it felt wrong. A man stepped out from the side of the road and waved at me. He said his battery had died. There were no houses nearby, no lights except our vehicles. I noticed something strange. There were no tire tracks. Then I heard something behind me. "Got your keys on you?" he asked calmly. That was the moment everything clicked. I told him I forgot something in my car. Then I ran. I heard heavy footsteps behind me, closer than I expected. I jumped inside and locked the doors. One of them reached me. The other tried the back door. Thankfully, I had locked everything. I started the engine. For a terrifying second, the tires just spun. In my rearview mirror, they were just standing there, watching. Since that night, I don't see snow the same way anymore. Sometimes that quiet white silence hides things you never want to see.